What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. I hope you are doing well. This is the review of King Richard. It's getting a lot of buzz. A lot of buzz for Will Smith on this one. This is the true story of Richard Smith, who obviously is the father of both Serena and Venus Williams, two of the best tennis players of all time. And I just, that's basically when you hear what's King Richard, what's it about? It's about Serena and Venus Williams' father, and it's played by Will Smith. That's what you hear right away, and you go, okay. And I know that. I mean, not necessarily the story per se, but how do you not know Serena and Venus Williams? And I remember, I'm not going to say I'm a massive tennis fan. I'm not. I don't dislike tennis. I just never really watched it a lot. But again, how are you not aware of both Serena and Venus Williams? So everything that they have accomplished, everything that they have done, and I also was very aware of the fact that throughout. You just hear they've been in the public eye for so long since they were young children that their dad had been involved. And I remember hearing the story of Richard Williams and hearing the criticism of how he was too tough on his children and how he should he have been so tough on these two kids. But then there's the argument, obviously, on the side. Well, obviously it worked. So the way that this movie is portrayed, it is. Venus and Serena are producers on the film, and I'm pretty sure. And Will Smith obviously wanted to tell this particular story. So some people can go that Queen route if they want, of saying, well, how much truth is really going to be in there when you have the family telling you they don't want it to look that bad. Well, they don't paint this guy in like the overall super positive light. Like, hey, guess what? Everything this guy did was great, and he did it for a reason. He certainly did it for a reason. They show that, but they don't paint it in this thing like he's like everyone was loving what he was doing. They show him as stubborn. They show him as overbearing. They show him as this figure that just it was his way or the highway for a while. And so the story is that they came from poverty. This was his second marriage, I believe, at the time. And the casting in this movie is out of control. Some of the best casting I've seen in a movie in a very long time. Obviously, Will Smith, who is maybe career performance. We can get to that in a second. And I mispronounced the actress's name. I apologize, but Anjanae Ellis plays Brandy Williams, Richard's wife. She is so good, and she elevates his performance in certain scenes. There's like a particular kitchen scene that happens. You're just like, she is so powerful in the scenes that she is in, and she doesn't get enough credit, I think, not the actress per se, but Brandy Williams, of the things that she did and how the management of the other children, and for the fact that they pushed Venus for a very long time, and she was working with Serena. Tony Goldwyn has a great performance inside of this, right? But John Bernthal, to me, really stands out because I like John Bernthal as an actor. I've always had like John Bernthal from Wolf of Wall Street, Walking Dead, whatever it might be, Punisher, whatever he's in, he's always elevating, right? And he's always popping into these particular roles. But he does something different in this one. Like he can do various performances, and he's a very talented kind of. I can't even call him a character actor anymore, but he is, but he's pretty well known. He doesn't just kind of disappear anymore because he's like, oh, there's John Bernthal again. But he's able to maneuver this performance, and he's a bit goofier than he is usually, and he's not as like tough, which I think again elevates the performance of Will Smith when he's in scenes with him. These kids, so it's Sonia Sidney and Demi Singleton as Serena and Venus Williams. Oh God, these kids are good, and they just warm your heart in the performances, and you root for them, even though you know what's coming with these kids and what they're eventually going to be. But there's such a vulnerable performance here by Will Smith, and what Will Smith is able to do. And I hope when I see some of these criticisms here, people are like, well, this is supposed to be the story of Serena and Venus, and it is, in the same way that people were complaining about like the Many Saints in Newark, Tony Soprano. This isn't Tony's story. If you watch the whole thing, that whole movie, it's the focus is on Dickie Moltisanti, but the story is ultimately how Tony Soprano came to be. It's the arc of the story and by the way it ends. It's the same here, although Tony Soprano has less screen time than Serena and Venus Williams. This is about, inside of the title, King Richard. and what he did. He had a plan before, and this is I watched video afterwards. He had a plan that these two kids were going to be tennis stars before they were born. And he put it into motion, and he was ballsy as hell from what he did, and he was overbearing, and he was maybe obnoxious, but he got it done. And these kids and what he did, they're set up, and they are. He said Serena was going to be, Venus would be number 1 ranked in the world, and that Serena would be considered the best tennis player to ever play the game. Both are true. But there's something that Will Smith does in this performance where he strips down that Will Smith cool thing. He ain't cool in this movie. He's and I watched the behind the scenes things. It's on HBO Max if people haven't seen it in theaters, but it's also on HBO Max where I watched it. And there's this little video at the end where you can see when the real Serena and Venus visit the set, and they have this scene with Will Smith, and they compliment how he got the dialect down, how he sound like the dad, and it was sometimes, a lot of times with these movies, the biopics, what you usually say is, well, the performance is really good, but the movie was fine. That's normal. A lot of times the movie was fine, but it was the performance. And I'm halfway through Spencer. That's the way I feel about Spencer right now. I got to finish it, but not this movie. This movie, I was engaged the whole way through. I was rooting, even though I knew certain things what were going to happen. But I was still rooting. I was still disappointed at parts of the real life events of things that happen, and the maneuvers that Williams does that you don't necessarily approve of, but you go, yeah. And then there's also things you're like, oh my God, if I was in that position, would I take? How did they turn that down? How did they do that? How is he? Because he keeps, and this is a fact that people know. He kept them out of the junior circuit for a long time. There were these phenoms, and he didn't want to burn them out. And against everybody's well wishes and everybody's what he had to do, the deals, Richard. I learned a lot from watching this movie that I didn't know beforehand. The deals that he puts through and puts focus and in sacrifice of relationships and other things that he's done. It is ultimately a story of family. It is a belief and love. And I thought that Will Smith was, this is an extraordinary role by him. And I think it was funny. I was going into this movie. I was like, it's going to take a lot for me to outshine Andrew Garfield in Tick, Tick, Boom. He did it within 20 miness of me watching this movie. He's great in it. The director, I want to give the director some love too. Ronaldo Marcus Green is the director, also able to music in this movie. There's a lot of great moments, man. If you have a chance to check it out, go on HBO Max, check it out or see it in the theaters. But that's it. That's King Richard. Out of 5 schmoes, I'm going to go 4.2 out of 5 schmoes. 4.2 out of 5 schmoes on King Richard. Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so before. That's all you got to do is you got to subscribe right there. You click on that notification. We have reviews. We have trailer reactions. We have a podcast called The Big Thing every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Have great guests on there, whether it's CM Punk or Katie Sackhoff. I have a Star Wars show every Friday, Sith Council. Anyway, check it out. That's my review. I hope you liked it, and we shall see you on the flip side. Peace.